So here we are. Let's start right down the line. Here with us is Omar Morales, creator of the CruZader. Hi, Omar. How's it going?
How's it going, Henry? It's great to meet you, man.
Good to meet you. I've actually seen the comic and everything. We never had a chance to actually meet. Glad that we've actually done, and you guys get to see it. So.
Size does matter when it comes to comic books.
Yeah, we'll talk about that actually, because there is something kind of cool about that one. We'll talk about it in a second. But for those who haven't heard about it, tell them what is the CruZader?
All right, so CruZader is about an exorcist who is forced to become like a personal hitman for the Pope. So he does a lot of ninja assassin missions and such, and so it's a conspiracy. It's got action adventure. It's got a lot of supernatural. The Spear of Destiny is the hero's main weapon. You know, that's a weapon that's been around in lots of stories and lots of fiction throughout history. But the main thing about the story is he's kind of doing this job against his will. There's a lot of inner turmoil that he has, and really that to me is the centerpiece of the story. And then you get the blood and guts and the action and you know, a little romance story too. So it's got a little bit of everything. It's a story that has everything I've ever wanted to see in a comic book, and I put it in there. I said, hey, this is my first time making my own book. I'm going to put everything that I like in there. So that's essentially it, man.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask you, is like, where did the story come from? But like you said, it's stuff that you haven't seen in comic books.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school in the 80s, right? And so I grew up on, Voltron and Spider-Man and, comics and Star Wars. And so all these things were the influences that were in my head. And so there's a little bit of everything that I put into the CruZader story.
Yeah, and obviously, I went also to Catholic school. That helped a lot when you were putting the story together.
Absolutely, man, because I lived it for 13 years, right? I knew the ins and outs of, all of it. The mythology and of course the morality and all of that. And so it's an interesting story, man, because there's some conflict there in terms of what the character goes through in his journey as a crusader. Because punching guys out in blood and guts, that's not necessarily the teachings of Jesus, right? And so he has a conflict about what he has to do. So I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot of good stuff, twists and turns in the story.
That's one hell of an answer to what would Jesus do? Is like, well, that's the CruZader. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Our audience, they like a lot of the horror stuff. Halloween shows some of the most downloads. So obviously they like this kind of stuff too, the supernatural and everything. Mm-hmm. For you, you mentioned he's an exorcist. What kind of research went into it? Because again, I haven't read it. But I'm assuming it's.
But you will be reading it soon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of History Channel, just watching a lot of History Channel. Of course, the 13 years of Catholic school, helped quite a bit as well. And then to fill in the gaps, Wikipedia, Google, all that stuff is great for just getting the details absolutely right. Like there's a scene in there where he's performing an exorcism, and so I wanted to make sure I had all the lingo just right in terms of what they say when they're actually performing the exorcism. So I used it verbatim, like what an actual exorcist would say, and it's in there in the script. So primarily a lot of my own education, but like I said, History Channel, Google, Wikipedia, all those things help in research.
Yeah, but it is accurate, like you said.
Yeah, it's accurate, and it's a fiction story, so I try to put a lot of historical accurate nuggets in there, but then I put in all the action adventure and all the melodrama stuff to make it comic booky.
Yeah. Is anyone from the Catholic Church, whether priest or anyone associated, has they contacted you and said, hey?
No, but I'll tell you this. The first books that came off the printing press, I sent one to the Pope in Rome directly, and then I sent one to the secret archives in the Vatican Library and Archives, and I put it out there. I said, here you go. If you got a problem with it, you let me know now. And nobody ever called me, so I actually had a couple bishops that followed me on Twitter, and there's a few bishops around the country that I sent it to. I never heard a peep, so I figured, all right, I'm good, I'm clean.
Yeah, so let's actually go over here, literally take a look at this one. Tell us what's so cool about what we're looking at there.
All right, so this is the Guinness World Records largest comic book in the world. Most people think it's a poster, but it's actually a real comic book. It's the first chapter of the story of CruZader. And I wanted to get some publicity out for the launch of the book, and I figured, Guinness World Records, that's a great endorsement to have.
You're seeing the certificate. It's official. He's not just saying it.
Yes, this is the real deal. I broke the record last August, and a little breaking news for you guys is I think I'm going to be in the actual book that gets published every year. Not everybody gets in, but they thought pretty highly of the project, and it's looking like I'm going to be featured in their book.
Do those? Actually,
yeah, they do those. It's like an encyclopedia. Yeah. They're a lot of it's online now.
Yeah.
But there is still an actual book, and I'll be featured in it the next time they put it out.
See, so you can look in the camera and tell your parents, see, that's what the Catholic school did for me. I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records now.
Go get her, right?
Yes, so where can everybody get the CruZader?
Yeah, check out, you can go to my website, theforcemedia.com. It's got all my links to social media. You can order the book from me. I can personalize it and sign it and mail it right to your house. You can go to your local comic book store and ask for it too, and they can order it for you. And I'm also on ComiXology for the digital version of CruZader. So ComiXology.com, just search for CruZader, CruZader, and you can buy it that way too. So appreciate you letting me get those plugs in.
Yeah, what was the website one more time?
Theforcemedia.com.
Force, like in The Force Awakens?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm there too. So Omar, thanks a lot. Best of luck with everything.
All right, appreciate it.